Mrs. Moore, this is your second appearance before the court. Now, when you were last here, it was to reveal a secret you'd kept from your son for 29 years. He then received the heartbreaking news that the man he'd always known as his dad was not his biological father. You testified that the very same thing happened to you with your mother. So today you are here to break the cycle because another of your sons, Mr. Cooper, has a child whose paternity is also in question. Now, Mr. Cooper, you say your wife, Mrs. Cooper, was secretly sleeping with you and another man around the same time she conceived your daughter. You now seek the truth about your child's paternity because you say you've learned from your mother that secrets and lies can nearly destroy a family. Now, Mrs. Cooper, you admit to an affair, but say you are certain Mr. Cooper is the father of your child. You state you are here today to prove it and also want to confront your mother-in-law, Mrs. Moore, because you feel she's meddling in your marriage. Now, Mrs. Moore, please explain to the court why you've returned today.
My son, Walter, here could express to me about his concerns that his child, it may not be his. Then Ashley calls me and asks me to try to help her resolve this issue between her and Kit. So I'm like, okay, we got to do something. This has got to stop. And that was my purpose of being here before.
So now, Mr. Cooper, I have to ask you about the doubt. When did you begin to have doubts about this beautiful baby being your child?
The first time I had an inclination that something was going on. I was actually working, and I got sent home early. There was a power outage. They sent us home. And as I'm pulling into the driveway, I see this black car, and this guy walks into the building we live in. Didn't think nothing of it, so I go into the house. The same guy I just seen him come out the car is now sitting inside the house, okay?
Oh.
Me and Ashley had some words about it, and she pretty much stood back like, you know, hey, you know things wasn't working out between me and you for a while. I mean, she like, you know, she got really, really tough and bad acting, so to speak. So I took the guy out into the hallway, and we had a man-to-man talk.
Okay.
Okay. The guy said, I mean, I knew of you, but I didn't know you were still living here. I was told I wasn't there, pretty much a deadbeat dad. Okay, and I explained to him, so if you look around, pictures, bills, my kids is here, my clothes is here, I live here, you know, that type of thing.
So, Ms. Cooper, were you cheating with this man?
At that time I was, but I wasn't. Me and Walter were on the outs. Walter has cheated on me so much that at that time, what I did was I wanted Walter to feel all the pain that he had inflicted on me all them years. We've been off and on for 9 years. The first 4 years of our relationship, he cheated on me the whole time.
So you admit?
Yep. I admitted that I did cheat. He did not show no attention, no affection. There was nothing between us. I mean, he didn't even look at me the same. He would sit there on his electronics like I didn't even exist, like his other children didn't exist. We weren't even visible to him. I might not have caught him in the act of doing anything, but he was still communicating with other women as if he was trying to have a relationship with him.
And actually, I love you stepped into this marriage knowing his past background, and you had your past background, but you brought your background into your marriage, which is totally wrong. Talking is one thing. Ignoring you is one thing, but if you feel like you got to step out your marriage to get added attention or a conversation, then get a divorce.
And we planned that. It was his decision for us to stay together.
So, Ms. Cooper, let me ask you this. Was this a one-time thing, this affair, or did it go on?
No, it did not go on. When the affair he's talking about had ended, then me and Walter had eventually split up, and I moved out of the home.
After you got caught cheating?
Yes.
Mr. Cooper, fill in the blanks.
Okay, this is what happened. After that particular incident, I thought we was getting things back in order, okay? She wakes up one day, I want to say it was a Monday, I can't do it anymore.
Oh,
and
wait.
left.
Okay, so back up. After this incident with the cheating, you say in your mind, okay, we've confronted it, it's out
Right,
on the
it's
table,
done.
let's just try to
Move
start
on.
over. Then she wakes up one day and says, what?
This is not working anymore. I'm done. I'm out of here. She withdrew the kids from school, and she had made a phone call, and she was gone.
Is this true, Miss Cooper?
Yep, I left.
Because you felt what?
Because it wasn't working with us. He still was the same. It was the same thing. And I wasn't going to keep sitting there and dealing with it.
Which
Like,
makes no sense
there's
because
And
the
during
grass
this
ain't always
time,
greener on the other
During
side.
this time, did you end up sleeping with another man?
when I moved out of the home, I was seeing another man, yes.
So this is the reason there's doubt today. Tell me about this doubt, Mr. Cooper.
Okay, the doubt is, first off, now I know who the other guy is.
Okay.
When I actually had a chance to meet him, we would sit down, we'd talk, we'd hang out, things of this stuff.
You and the guy she cheated with?
Me and the guy that she cheated with. We would
Sit
sit
and
down.
talk and hang
we
out?
sat down.
I've
we
never heard of
talked.
such.
He didn't know at that time.
No, I didn't know, but see, this is the thing. I didn't know.
You didn't know.
Right. We would
Oh,
sit
wow.
and talk. I let him
So
in.
you
on some-
knew this person.
Yeah, I know who he is.
And no clue
No
he's
clue,
sleeping with your wife.
None whatsoever.
Because at that
Smooth
time, we weren't even
operator.
sleeping together.
You and the guy weren't sleeping together at that time.
No.
You didn't sleep
We
with
were
him until
ju-
later.
We were just talking. There was nothing going on between us when him and Walter had communicated, met each other, whatever. Me and him.
This
Okay,
is-
but you do admit that you were intimate with this man during the time of conception, which is why we're here today.
Yes.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. Is it your concern Armani looks more like this other man
My concern,
than you?
My concern is this. When I look at Armani, I don't see me.
So, Ms. Cooper, I see you're very emotional.
When I conceived, I was with Walter. We both went to the doctors and asked them for advice on conception day and everything. They told me I conceived at the end of June. At that time, I was with Walter. Yes, I slept with the other guy in July. But by that time, I was already pregnant. The doctors even confirmed all of that.
When I look at Armani, I don't see, and I'm not trying to make this a racial thing, I don't see a blackness in her.
Okay, but if you look down his family line, he's got white in his family line. I've even submitted a document of it where his grandmother,
Jerome, can you please hand me
his
Mrs. Cooper's
grandmother
evidence?
is white, which the gene passes down to his, I want to say grandfather. Then his grandfather passes it down.
That's true.
So if you
Right.
get somebody that has white in their genes, and then you get me, which is already white, why can't my daughter be bright skinned?
And it is in fact true. There is something called a recessive gene or a throwback gene.
Yes.
Whereby if you have genetically Caucasian people in your family, it can throw back to that gene. Now, I'm not saying that's the case, and that's why we're here today. We do not know if, in fact, this little girl is yours, but I will say that you're looking at the outward presentation of the biology, and you must know from being an African American that genetically it can present very differently. Ms. Moore, what did you
Yes,
want
I
to
got
say?
something to say. All right, and what everything you're saying is true, but Ashley, I love her dearly, and I love Armani. But if you step to me and tell me, well, I want to know from the time she was born that I told Walter he could have a DNA besides mine, I want to know too.
A piece of paper should
doesn't-
not determine that.
It
You
doesn't
stepped up at
determine-
that
But it
hospital
closes-
when you
it
signed that
closes
birth
a gap.
certificate. You
It
knew
closes
in
a
the
gap.
door.
Let's get some order. Let's get some order.
It
So,
closes
Mr.
a
Cooper,
gap and
you
it straightens-
signed the birth certificate,
Yes, I did.
and at that time you said, I'm going to be her father. Did you have a doubt at the time you signed the birth certificate? Did you have any doubt?
I've had a doubt since.
Just like everybody else that
But
first
he
seen the
had
child.
ultimate
Ashley is
opportunities
confused-
to take
what
the test
Ashley-
then.
what
Why
Ashley
a
is
year
Just
and a
one
half
second,
later?
Ms. Cooper. What is
Ashley
Mrs.
is
Cooper?
not telling at the time that when she first told me in my bedroom, on my bed, that she was pregnant, my first reaction is, you got to get the hell out of my house.
You're right, and we
That
filed
was my
divorce.
first- that was my
We both
first-
Oh,
went and
hold on.
filed.
Let me understand this. So before the baby
might
was
was born.
ever born,
Yeah.
before you
It was
even
there.
actually got to see her, you had the doubt because you knew
Right.
about the relationship and the
Right.
fact that this potentially wasn't your child.
Right.
So your first gut instinct when she told you,
Right.
I'm pregnant, this is your
Was,
wife.
this is my wife.
Sitting down
you
telling you.
You have to
and
go.
you say, well, you got to go.
You got to go.
Because you
I
didn't
don't agree
believe
with
it was
that.
yours.
Okay.
But I don't agree
No.
with it like that, Your Honor, because if you didn't want her in your life as your wife, you shouldn't have never opened my front door and say, come on in. Okay? Because at the time, he was staying with me. All right? And knowing that he has a history, she has a history, the one part I don't condone about her history is that she did it in the marriage. But if you're going to say get out, then you need to step out there too, instead of waiting till this child get born, and now you got all this problem going on and stuff with a whole lot of underlying stuff that don't even have nothing to do with it, because both of it is
And-
in the past, and this child is here now.
Ms. Moore, you're getting at the point I really want to make, because at some point, even though he said you got to get out, at some point you guys rekindled this or tried to
did.
be a family because you say, that's my little girl.
Right.
So at what point did you make that decision?
What made me come to that decision, regardless of whatever was going on with me, I look at
Ashley's
Ashley.
feelings.
I look at Ashley. There's been a lot of times where I put stuff off to the side. Okay, my own thoughts, my own emotions, because I'm dealing with my wife. Regardless of whatever happened, I love my wife. Okay, I love my kids. So I'm willing to step down, send myself through mental whatever, just to make sure they're okay. That's the way I was instilled to grow up to be. All right, handle what I need to handle, deal what I got to deal with behind closed doors at my time with whoever I need to. When I would bring these issues of what's going on with me, because I'm feeling like I can't write a song anymore, I'm having problems in my own personal business life, I bring it to my wife.
Okay.
Okay, and I tell her this is what the situation is. We tend to, I brought it to you. Why did you do this or why did you do that? And like I would tell Ashley, I'm still that same man that when you first met me on the 4th of July when we had our first date and found out you was pregnant by another man and you didn't want him growing up with this situation, let me sign the birth certificate. Let this baby know he got a father regardless.
So wait, when you met Mrs. Cooper, she was pregnant by another man.
By another man.
And you signed the birth certificate.
No, she would not allow me to sign the birth certificate
But you
at that time.
offered.
I offered.
Okay.
And to this day, raising those
Yeah,
kids.
I still raise him.
So as you look at Armani, how convinced are you that you could be her father?
It's a 50-50. It's something I can be honest with you. All right? It's
And
50.
Mrs. Cooper?
I believe in my heart that that's his. That's his baby.
And as you look at her, do you see
I see him
Mr.
in her.
Cooper?
If you look at her face, her eyes change colors just like his does. I have brown eyes. She obviously didn't get it from me. All my other kids have brown eyes. Obviously, that's where they got it from. His eyes change colors depending on his mood. Hers does the same thing. I know he always says, well, I'm around her, that's how she gets my attitude, moods, whatever. She's just like him. I mean, they sleep the same way, everything. I mean, she's a spitting image of my younger son, which is his. So, I mean, she's his. She's his.
Your Honor, I hope that this is my biological granddaughter. However, if it's not, then I feel like Ashley should really reach down deep inside of herself and Kit, or Walter, I call him Kit, that's his nickname. Walter need to reach down inside himself. They need to come together and get it done. However it gonna be. I don't care
And
if
the
you make a
only way we can
I
do
don't
that is
care
if
if
it's
she make a
between just
possibility
me and
list
him.
and he put a possibility list, and if you want me out of your marriage, don't pick up the phone and call me. Okay, because my thing of it is, I've lived with it. I'm 57 years old. I lived with it with my mother. I've lived with it with my 30-year-old son. And now I got a granddaughter in question. They need to get it done. Because not only is Armani going to be affected by this, they got 3 other kids. Okay? And if this is not his, then she's got 4 babies with 4 baby daddies. and he's daddy 5 for all of them. So as my son, you took on this responsibility, then respect your wife. Your wife needs to respect you, and they all need to love their kids. And that's how I feel about it.
You know what, Ms. Moore? I appreciate that because you want to break this cycle.
I really
and you
do.
want to break it here today.
Today, because I don't have any more kids to come back to court.
Jerome, I think it's time for the results.
There you go.
Now, Ms. Moore, the last time you were in court, the results were overwhelming.
It was for me.
I would like for you to take a seat. Just for your safety.
Okay.
No matter what these results are, I am certain they will be emotional. No matter what these results are, I am certain they will be emotional.
Yeah.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics and read as follows. In the case of Cooper versus Cooper, when it comes to the paternity of 1-year-old Armani Nairi Cooper, Mr. Cooper, you are not her father.
You know I still love you. This is something you all gonna have to work through. Listen to me, Ashley. Hold your head up. You have children that now you have to stand up and be a real mother. You have a little girl, and you cannot let her make the same mistakes. And we all make mistakes, Ashley.
You seem stunned.
It doesn't change the way I feel about Armani. You know what I'm saying? I'm a strong man, I'm gonna stand strong, and I do strong things. And this is my strongest battle, and I'm gonna stand there for that.
I hope you understand. I know this was not the news you wanted. I know it's probably difficult for you because sometimes the truth
Hurts.
Thank you. But it's also the key to moving forward. Now the truth is on the table. We know it's not what you wanted, but he says he's not going anywhere. And learn how to mend this situation. Are we clear? Mr. Richardson,
Yes.
you claim you made a huge mistake. You signed the birth certificate of the defendant's 2-month-old son, DeMarlon, even though you doubt you are his father. You want to prove your case before you end up paying child support for a baby you know isn't yours. Ms. Robbins, you say the plaintiff's only mistake is denying your son because you claim the DNA will prove that he is DeMarlon's father. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Mr. Richardson, why'd you sign the birth certificate if you doubted paternity?
It was at the moment, and I felt that, I don't know, it may be mine, but I don't know.
He was there during the whole entire time, during delivery and pregnancy. He was there, but he also signed the recognition of parentage.
And did you try to
Asked
guilt
twice.
him into it? Did you guys have a
Nope.
conversation? Did he express to you any reservation that
Nope.
he really didn't want to sign this birth
Nope.
certificate?
I asked him twice, are you sure you want to do this?
Oh, why did you ask him twice if you
Because-
know it's his child?
Because during my entire pregnancy, he had doubts, and I asked him before we do this recognition of parentage, are you sure you want to sign this?
Your Honor, I didn't want to seem like the bad guy at the time. And I was in my emotions, and when I saw the baby, I was like, ah, and I asked her, I said, you sure this baby is mine? Is there no one else? And she was like, no, there's no one else.
But does that...
But he was when I saw the baby, he was so white. He looked like a Mexican or something. He was just real light.
I'm light-skinned.
Come on now,
she's
let's...
I'm
light-skinned.
light-skinned.
Yes, you are. You're very light-skinned.
But listen, that doesn't matter. Children come in all shapes and sizes, and he just spent 9 months or more in the womb.
That's true. But Yana, you gotta realize, when I was dating her, she was very sneaky.
So are you. So are you.
How, Mr. Richardson?
She was sneaky from the start when I met her, Yana. I met her at a club, came, approached her, didn't think she was gonna give me the time of day or nothing.
So he pursued me.
I did.
Yep.
You're right about that. I did pursue you.
For a long time.
I pursued after her. I got out there.
Yep.
And we got to talking, and then she told me, she said, I'm married, but, when she said the word but, that means I'm willing to maybe see you or something, play around with you.
Okay.
So did Mr. Richardson start off as a side piece, Miss Robbins?
Of course I will.
Yes.
So that's true.
Yes.
Very true.
But when we got into being more into a serious relationship and I knew that I wanted to be with him, I decided that I wanted, that I wanted it to be just me and him. And I did tell him and I showed him proof that I was divorced.
Yana.
And I hadn't been with no one else except for him, so I don't understand the whole DNA part. Especially if it was just me and him for the last 3 years. That was at first.
No,
and
but
you know
when you showed me that paper, it was on the internet, I looked it up.
And he said that anybody can be on the internet, but I showed him the declaration. So he just doesn't believe anything, including that DeMarlon is his.
No, I don't.
So you had to go on the internet to show him your divorce papers?
What I did is that I pulled it from our county.
You didn't have a physical copy?
I didn't have a physical copy, but I know that you can get it off of the...
You didn't have a physical copy of your own divorce decree?
No, I didn't.
So, Miss Robbins, your assertion today is that you have no doubt Mr. Richardson is DeMarlon's biological father.
No doubt. And I know that, like, the night we conceived, it was me and him.
Yana, that's another story behind it.
I remember a lot. He doesn't even remember, people's names, his middle name. He don't remember nothing. He doesn't remember anything.
I call my
so how are you
sisters,
going to say that you remember the night that we conceived when you can't even remember
that
what the
night
next...
because
Well, do you remember the night?
Mars, huh?
Do you remember the night?
I remember the night.
Okay, tell the court what happened.
So the night it was during Christmas, and we had just bought a couch, and I just moved into my place, and within that week time, me and Mr. Richardson basically gave our house a blessing, or my house a blessing.
A blessing that I didn't finish.
Okay, but that's not no one's fault but your own.
Okay.
That's not no one's fault but your own. Look at your age. How old are you?
I'm at the time, I think I was 43.
Okay, so that could be the reason.
So, Mr. Richardson, you said you did not finish delivering the blessing?
Yes, Your Honor, I did not finish that day.
The act.
The whole act.
So that's not the first time, though.
No.
So, Ms. Robbins, take me to the point in time when you found out you were pregnant.
I wasn't feeling good, so I decided to go get a pregnancy test, and it was positive. I also got another pregnancy test because Mr. Richardson, he's so doubtful on a lot of things. We took the pregnancy test together in the bathroom, sat it on the counter, and we watched it.
She asked me, what do you want to do? I said, we're going to have the baby because we doing some stupid stuff. I'm not going to blame this child. We're going to have it.
So you decided that we should have the baby?
I'm pretending I was happy. I just pretended.
Oh, you were pretending?
I'm pretending like I was happy.
You were pretending like you were happy?
That's nice. That's nice.
Why would you pretend you were happy?
And still be with me. And still be with me the whole time.
Sneaky, but I mean,
I don't get it.
I mean, because
of what? I'm sorry.
Pregnant sex.
Okay, but you didn't get that, and you know why?
I got it one time.
Wait, hold on, Mr. Richardson. Are you saying you weren't happy about the baby coming? You were happy because you could have pregnant sex?
Yes. Well, I mean, pregnant sex is the best sex, Your Honor. It is.
Lauren Lake here, giving you 5 seconds to subscribe and click on the notification bell. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So, Mr. Richardson, please, tell me if there's any other reason you have doubt.
Oh my God, there's a million, but I'm gonna try to narrow it down to at least 1 or 2. I went to one doctor's appointment with her, right? And then I went to go to the other ones. She told me, no, you don't have to come.
I don't need you to hold my hand.
I don't need you to hold my hand.
You're telling me
That's what made
he's
you...
not mine, this is not my baby, all this the whole time.
Exactly.
So why would I let you be a part of that?
And so the fact that she admittedly didn't want you at the appointments made you feel like, well, if I'm the biological father, no matter how we're fighting or I'm getting on your nerves, why would you not want me at the doctor's appointment?
Yes, yes.
Well-
And Yana, you gotta realize,
Tell the truth.
Christmas time, she just moved into our new place. She had to put down $2,800. She was complaining to me that, I have no, this is like 3 days before Christmas. I have no Christmas money to buy
But I didn't ask you for any money at that time either, did I?
Let me speak. She come up with all this money after she put this down payment on her to move in our place. And I said, where you get this money from? She told me, I got it from my 401k. I said, that fast?
Well, Your Honor, I have
that
been on my job as what they call a Christmas account.
But why were you crying?
And so
about you had no money?
I told him that I didn't have any money at the time. But if I can't get it from other resources, then I would use the money out of part of the Christmas account.
So wait a minute, you felt like how 3 days before Christmas you say you don't have any money and all of a sudden you have a 401k?
I had a 401k from jump.
So why are you surprised that she was able to take a loan or something from that?
That fast, 3 days before, I think that was another guy that was kind of hanging around.
Oh, you think
that?
We're gonna keep his name anonymous, but there was someone kind of hanging around.
Did you have any reason to believe that Miss Robbins was intimate with this other man
I believe
you
she
saw
was intimate
hanging
with,
around?
I'm not gonna say him, but I believe she was intimate with someone.
During the time that we were
Why?
together?
Because this one particular time I was at her house and I'm watching TV show. She claimed she was at work. She came home, Yana. She sat next to me, and I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, I recognize that smell. I haven't had it in a while, but I recognize it. I said, you smell like sex.
Oh, wow.
And I'm
so
like,
that's what I smelled like when I
said, you been having sex? Did you
at
go to
work?
Oh, I don't know what you at work.
I'm doing that, but I'm at work all day, but that's how I come home smelling,
Yeah,
really.
sometimes you tell me you been at
But we're
work.
not gonna say how you smell when you come home from work.
Well,
So is this the first time you've tried to get a DNA test, Mr. Richardson?
no, it's not, Yana. She made an appointment. We supposed to split 135. It was 2 something to go get a DNA test. She said, I set an appointment. I'm gonna come at 4:30 when you get off work. I got there
But
at 3
I made
o'clock.
the appointment.
Yes, you made the appointment. But you said it was 4:30. I got at your house at 3 o'clock. 3:30 come. We sitting around. Okay, appointment's at 4:30. 4 o'clock come, we sitting around. 4:15, we sitting around.
But I'm
what's
the one
up?
who made the
Are we
appointment.
going to get this?
I'm the one who made the appointment. I'm the one who
asked her.
agreed on DNA, even though
And I
that's all
asked
you
her.
talked
But
about.
did you go to the appointment?
No,
We did not.
Yana.
Why? If he was at your house
I
at 3
didn't do
o'clock?
it. I just, at that time,
And that
I
made me
didn't do it. I
suspicious.
wasn't worried about anything. It's just that I had other things that I had in
What were you
plan.
doing? You were just
Other
sitting in the
things-
house.
Other plans to do. I was
What,
on maternity
watching TV?
leave.
Hold on. You had a chance to
Exactly.
resolve this.
Correct.
And he was there to pick you up to take you there.
That is
You
correct.
all had the appointment.
That is correct.
When you decide you don't want to go, in his mind, I can see why he would feel like you dodging this test.
Exactly, and I agree with that. My thing is, I'm not worried about anything.
But Mr. Richardson, you believe she's dodging this test. At that point now,
at that
you've been
point.
over there for an hour,
He doesn't
15
care.
minutes, and she's still not ready to go.
She's not ready to go. We
No, I
chilling at
wasn't.
our house. I'm
Nope,
like,
I wasn't
"Are we
ready to
going?"
go, but
And then she
at
said,
the
I'll
same
make
time,
another appointment.
I had.
She said, I'll make another appointment. I said, okay, so I'll come out and say, when you ever made
This
that
was during
appointment?
this was during the time that I had just had DeMarlon, and I was not
taking
feeling well.
everybody
And
everywhere
like
they
I
need
told
to
him,
go.
I was willing to do it. I was willing to do it without a problem.
This is it. You've got this man, he's on the birth certificate. He's been having doubts about you all along. I can see this conversation we're having today. It's not the first time, probably won't be the last. And he's talking about what you did. You were sneaky, you were this, you were that.
Very.
And this is honest, Miss Robbins. Whether he's right or wrong, only the DNA is gonna be able to decide that.
Thank you,
But
Yana.
the point is that you know at this point in time, he feels like what you say has no credibility. Because when you met him, you not married, then you was married, then you gotta get your divorce decree online. You don't have a physical copy of it. I mean, the stories just keep coming and coming and coming. And in this moment in time, you have the opportunity to resolve all of this and shut him up. Really.
Put a zip on
And
my...
Lord knows,
Oh, my...
we need that to happen. So, I just don't understand.
Well, I didn't.
Wait,
well,
no, let me finish. I don't understand. I know what it means to have a baby. I get it. I don't understand why after you make that appointment and he's there, ready, willing, and able to go to this appointment, do you not get yourself and your baby packed up and just get it done? As much as Mr. Richardson talks, the truth is I see how he could be doubtful, and now I'm trying to figure out why are you resentful of the doubt that you placed in his mind? That looks like you dodging the test.
But I'm not, though.
We got the appointment.
But
I'm here to
we
pick you up.
rescheduled it. We were going to
reschedule it now. Why?
We rescheduled it because I told him that we could do it at a later. I told him that I was
because he was
reaching
already
out to other resources.
Was it because he was already on the birth certificate and you felt like, you know what, you're the legal father anyway, so I really don't have to get up out of my bed?
No, I really didn't care about that.
So what it is you all both in here playing games and being silly while DeMarlon is still on pause.
True.
Waiting to figure out who my daddy is. And that's unfair. You all talking in circles in here today. He's sitting up here 2 months old, and his potential father is denying him. His mother can't make it to the DNA test. And now you all set up in here for 30 minutes, arguing back and forth, doing a he said, she said, when you all have had every opportunity to resolve this.
Exactly.
But instead, you run your mouth so long that you got to now come to the courtroom to get it done. This is silly. I'm thankful this courtroom exists so that the buck can stop here and we can really get the result. And I have them. Jerome?
There you go, Jerome.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics and they read as follows. Do you want to watch Paternity Court on TV? Go to paternitycourt.tv to find your local listings. In the case of Richardson versus Robbins, when it comes to 2-month-old DeMarlon Richardson, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Richardson, you are the father. You really didn't know? This is what I'm talking about.
He doubted it the whole time.
Exactly.
The whole time.
And
like
that's what he was
I
trying
can't even believe
to
I'm
tell
here.
you.
I can't believe I'm even here. After all these years, I was with him.
At home.
Well, what I'm saying to you, Miss Robbins, now he knows for sure. And now you have been vindicated in the sense that you've said it all along. This is your child. Sign the birth certificate if you want or if you don't want, but this is your child. Are you ready for him to be able to hold his child with the understanding, without a doubt, clarity, that he is this child's father? DeMarlon needs his father.
That's fine.